Just as all the ancient wise teachers of spirituality throughout the ages have tried to teach us, love is the most important thing for a human being to hold in their heart and mind. Even more important than honesty or generosity or bravery or anything else you can think of. Love is paramount. It is why when you say things like I will hate that person till I die, or I will never forgive them, you cannot go back to the point of origin. All human beings, all of our souls came from a place of divine perfection and light, where there were no impurities of thought or action. We entered into this material, artificial realm for a short time to experience the things that are not possible to experience in what you want to call heaven, because it's a place of highest vibrational frequency. Therefore, nothing of a low vibrational frequency can exist there. No war. So when you hear about there was a war in heaven, well, maybe there was a war in the universe, but not in heaven as in the place of divine holiness. That is an oxymoron. It's impossible. I don't know why most humans have not been able to figure that out for themselves yet. You cannot have a place of perfection and suddenly imperfection breaks out within it. It's like you're on an AM radio band and you're listening to somebody else listening to an FM band. The two of you cannot hear each other's frequencies because you're operating on different levels. I don't know why this is so hard for people to understand. Heaven, in the sense of the spiritual place of perfection where we came from, is of the highest vibrational frequency. The earth and what happens here is of the lowest vibrational frequency. So what the kind of nonsense emotions that are promoted and incorporated into our human experience here, envy, jealousy, anger, wrath, sorrow, even all this nonsense does not exist where we come from, the divine place of perfection. Furthermore, I'll tell you for a fact, and many of you may not want to accept it, but every soul is going to get back to that place of perfection, because that is our point of origin and where we will return to eventually. It may take multiple lifetimes on this plane of existence to refine ourselves and get back to the state of enlightenment that we first entered this physical realm, this place of five senses, perception, illusion. Even all the people that you consider to be devil incarnates, Saddam Hussein, Adolf Hitler, everyone, Genghis Khan, every human who ever lived had the divine soul in them from inception. No child is born evil. We are born innocent and pure, and times and circumstances in which we live, or the exercise of free will of others that may have negatively impacted us, may have turned us to a dark path, as well as we have to understand that there are higher and lower vibrational entities surrounding us, invisible to our light spectrum perception in these physical bodies, but they are there. Is it possible for people to believe that, no demons can come near me because I'm such a good person? No, they're there. They're not able to impact you or influence in you, but they will still perpetually trying to do so. You cannot live without lower vibrational entities and energies drawing near you or trying to attach to you or manipulate and influence you in some way, but you can live above them, and the only way to do so is by harboring a pure and true love. That means you see every human being as your spiritual sibling, whether you personally like them or not. Remember, I'm going to be very crass now. This person that you quote unquote hate, it may be biggest asshole in the world. You wish they were never born. You can't see a single good thing about them, but they were good. They were perfect when they entered this world. You have to dig deeper and find out what happened along the way. Let me give you an example of Saddam Hussein. Happy, normal little boy born in northern Iraq. Parents died early. Uncle took over the raising of him and physically brutalized him worse than you would treat some animal that you despise. Literally used to make him sleep in the pig pen and eat pig food. So that once happy innocent little boy grew up with tremendous hatred in his heart and a desire to have power to the extent that nobody will be able to ever hurt him like that ever again. So if you have true understanding, you will see why the Saddam Hussein that you think now was as a devil incarnate was not always so. He started off just as innocent as you and I, but the times and circumstances in which he lived led him in a different direction. And I have no doubt there were also lower vibrational entities surrounding him, and because of his state of distress and turmoil, they were able to influence him to do even more dark things. So if you are a truly enlightened person, you will not have any hatred for Hitler or Saddam, or you will hate, as Jesus rightly said, you will hate the wrong things that they have done in those particular lifetimes, but you don't hate the person because you don't know what caused the person to end up doing such deeds. Now, this is the importance of love. Love must transcend everything. Even in war, I'm not saying that. I will tell you, if someone broke into my home to rape and murder my wife and children, I'm not gonna kneel down and pray and ask God to change their heart. That might take precious time. It may or may not work. In the meantime, my loved ones are being hurt. No, if I have a weapon in my house, I will shout at that person and demand them to stop and retreat. And if they continue to attack, then I will mortally wound them, and if necessary, take their earthly life. And I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. But I will warn you first, if you don't heed the warning and you're still intent on inflicting deadly harm to my loved ones, then I will stop you in whatever way I can. But after I stop you by killing you, I'm not going to delight, and cut up your body in little pieces and hang them from different parts of my house as trophies, or drag your dead body through the street, or pee on it, and this kind of savage, ignorant delight in doing something wrong. At the end of the day, that person who was threatening your life and your loved ones is still your spiritual sibling. You don't know what happened. Maybe they were on some powerful narcotics at the time that they broke into your home, and they may have been possessed by a lower vibrational entity. Who knows? What the point is, you had to physically stop them, and you had to resort to that ultimate last case of resort by physically killing them. But you do not delight in having to stoop so low to solve a problem. That is a last resort, not a first resort. But it doesn't mean that you never have to do it in this lifetime. You may or may not. If you're lucky, you may go through this life and never have to harm another soul. That is wonderful, that's great. But times and circumstances again, you may grow up in a situation like Syria or Ukraine as it is today, and you will know nothing but war and violence for years or decades, or perhaps even your entire lifetime. It's really the luck of the draw. We never know where we will reincarnate and what we will have to face in that incarnation, because it's not like a movie script. Otherwise, what would be the point of coming here? The same way you have free will, that you decide, hey, I'm gonna go down the street and ask the first person I see if they need help, and whatever way I can, I'm gonna help them. Or you could decide yourself, no, I'm gonna drink this bottle of vodka and I'm gonna get behind my steering wheel and race down the highway, and I don't give a damn if I crash into somebody or run off the sidewalk and plow into a crowd of people. So it's your free will. Granted, that there are also positive or higher and lower vibrational entities around us invisibly that try to influence us in the right and the wrong direction. But if you have poisoned your own body, which is the temple of God, then you have allowed yourself to be swayed by the lower vibrational entities. But if you keep yourself clean and keep your thoughts clean, then the higher vibrational entities have more influence and sway over your life, and you will do many good and wonderful positive things. So it's a matter of we have to accept responsibility. We cannot just sit back and expect some external force to solve all of our problems for us. We have to take responsibility for our own actions in every lifetime. Although there's a caveat to that, as I said before, that there are external influences trying to guide us into one direction or the other. And the only way we can make that harder or easier is by how we conduct our own selves and have control over our thoughts and emotions. Do not let our emotions and thoughts take control of us. And this is the lesson that I want to share with you today. Peace and love to all.